feel about Jason telling his kids that cats are poisonous?
It was actually really a great.
Hi, Uncle Trav.
What's up, girly? How you doing?
Good.
How was gymnastics?
What are you wearing? Tell Uncle Trav what you're wearing.
A leotard.
A child's innocent reaction sometimes reveals more truth than a headline ever could. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have been left speechless today. We'll unpack how young Wyatt Kelce has just reacted to the engagement of her uncle Travis Kelce and Auntie Taylor Swift, an innocent family moment that has unexpectedly shocked everyone. How does a child process a moment that dominates global headlines? Wyatt Kelce's candid reaction to her uncle's engagement wasn't polished or rehearsed, it was instinctive. In a world where every move of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift is scrutinized, her tiny voice slipped through unguarded. That brief soundbite, just seconds long, carried more authenticity than hours of carefully managed coverage. Viewers saw not a celebrity child, but simply a little girl navigating family news that happened to ripple across the globe. The Kelce family has long been in the spotlight for football glory, but the engagement to Taylor Swift pulled them into a new orbit of global attention. Suddenly, game day celebrations and locker room stories blended with red carpet speculation. In the middle of this swirl stood Wyatt, young and untouched by the machinery of fame. Her response to the news reminded people that behind the glittering headlines, this is still a family, dealing with real moments in real time, even if the rest of the world is watching. Millions of fans replayed a child's offhand reaction as if it were breaking news. Social media clips spread within minutes, captions and memes transforming her words into cultural currency. The reaction was discussed on talk shows, dissected in online forums, and reshared until it felt larger than the engagement itself. That's the power of virality. An innocent comment recorded at home can suddenly command the same attention as a press conference. Wyatt's small moment became one of the internet's biggest sparks. Jason Kelce has often spoken about wanting to raise his daughters away from the overwhelming pull of fame. Wyatt's unguarded comment suggested those efforts are working. She wasn't speaking like someone shaped by media narratives, but like a child responding naturally to family news. The honesty carried weight precisely because it contrasted so strongly with the careful image crafting surrounding celebrity life. It offered a rare glimpse into what happens when private family values collide with massive public interest. Taylor Swift's presence in the Kelce household ensures that any family moment has the potential to become a global event. What might have been an intimate exchange within the family instantly became part of the broader Swift-Kelce narrative. Wyatt's words, captured casually, now live in the same cultural timeline as chart-topping albums and Super Bowl appearances. It shows how Swift's orbit draws even the most personal milestones into the public square, whether intentionally or not. Wyatt's reaction exists on two planes. To her, it was simply a child hearing unexpected news, but to millions of viewers, it symbolized a cultural moment. This duality, ordinary within the family, extraordinary on the outside, highlighted the strange balance the Kelces now live with. Every interaction is both private truth and public performance, even when it's not meant to be. The world views through one lens, while the family experiences another. Reports suggested Wyatt responded with laughter, or perhaps even a cheeky "Ewa," to the idea of her uncle and new auntie. That playful burst was instantly relatable because it was raw, unscripted, and very much a child's view of adult romance. Her honesty resonated precisely because it lacked the polish adults often feel obliged to add. For many, it was both funny and refreshing, an unfiltered moment in a news cycle dominated by carefully curated images. What followed was a wave of coverage that turned Wyatt's brief comment into a headline event. Outlets from sports networks to celebrity blogs magnified her words, speculating on what they meant or how the family felt. In the process, a spontaneous childhood remark was elevated to the same level as major announcements. This relentless spin showed how modern media thrives on small sparks to fuel massive storylines, especially when the subjects are two of the most watched figures on the planet. For Wyatt, Travis Kelce isn't the record-breaking tight end adored by millions. He's simply Uncle Trav, the larger-than-life family figure who makes her laugh at gatherings and spoils her with attention. That's why her reaction to the engagement struck so many people. It stripped away the celebrity aura and reminded the world that even icons are just family members in someone else's story. The moment was intimate, framed not through touchdowns or trophies, but through the eyes of a niece seeing her uncle in a new role. Taylor Swift's arrival in the Kelce family shifts the meaning of family titles. To Wyatt, she's not the global superstar commanding stadiums of 70,000 fans. She's Auntie Taylor, a new figure woven into the fabric of birthdays, holidays, and everyday routines. That dual identity fascinated fans. One of the most famous women in the world, stepping into the most ordinary role imaginable. Wyatt's simple reaction captured that tension perfectly, bridging the gap between private family intimacy and global fascination. The engagement rippled across multiple generations in different ways. Older fans saw it as a cultural milestone, younger fans viewed it as a fairy tale romance, but Wyatt's Gen Alpha perspective became the most memorable. Her response was stripped of symbolism, social commentary, or media weight. It was direct, instinctive, and uniquely childlike. In a society overloaded with analysis, her voice stood out for cutting through the noise without ever trying to. Within hours, Wyatt's moment was clipped into GIFs, TikToks, and reaction memes shared by millions. Her small expression became a shorthand response for everything from surprise to awkwardness to playful disapproval. Suddenly, she wasn't just part of a family event. She was a face of internet culture. This transformation highlighted how today's meme-driven world can take the smallest fragment of expression and elevate it into a piece of digital folklore, echoing across timelines and screens. Child psychologists weighed in, noting how children's spontaneous reactions often strike deeper chords than adult commentary. Because kids lack filters, their words and expressions carry an unvarnished truth people instinctively connect with. Wyatt's reaction was studied not as entertainment, but as a glimpse into the innocence of childhood under an intense spotlight. The discussion reached beyond pop culture, touching on how children interpret events when the world is watching them just as closely as their parents. For Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, Wyatt's comment was more than background noise. It was a small but memorable collision of innocence and adult celebration. In the footage, you could see the contrast between a child's unguarded laughter and the couple's joyous announcement. It was a reminder that milestones in life are rarely experienced the same way by everyone present. Each family member views it from their own perspective, shaping the shared memory in distinct ways. Wyatt's reaction quickly became a cultural snapshot of 2025, a year where micro-moments could dominate global conversations. What resonated wasn't the glamour of an engagement between two megastars, but the voice of a child experiencing it with honesty. Her short, instinctive response captured the mood of an era obsessed with authenticity, reminding the public that sometimes the most powerful comment comes from the youngest voice in the room. Jason and Kylie Kelce have spoken often about their determination to raise their children with as much normalcy as possible. Yet Wyatt's viral moment underscored how difficult that mission has become. Despite efforts to create boundaries, fame still seeped in through a casual comment, amplified far beyond their control. The challenge wasn't Wyatt's reaction itself, it was the world's reaction to her. The couple faced the reality that their children's words might never again exist, only within the safety of home. What began as a fleeting childhood remark may linger far longer than anyone expected. For the Kelce children, this moment marked a subtle turning point, the realization that even their smallest words can reverberate across the globe. Wyatt's reaction became a piece of family history and public culture at the same time. That intersection of private innocence and global awareness will likely shape how the Kelce kids grow up, always balancing ordinary childhood experiences with extraordinary public attention. Years from now, when people look back on the engagement of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, Wyatt's spontaneous reaction may be remembered alongside the official announcement itself. These quirks, the laughter, the playful protest, the candid surprise, become part of the story that history carries forward. Moments like this remind us that legacy isn't built only on the milestones, but also on the unplanned details that give them color. Wyatt, without knowing it, has already written herself into that narrative. Wyatt Kelce's brief reaction to her uncle's engagement traveled further than anyone in the family could have imagined. What began as a playful child's response quickly became a shared cultural moment, stitched into the larger story of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. It was a reminder of how even the smallest voices can echo loudly in a world hungry for authenticity. The engagement itself will stand as a milestone, but Wyatt's unfiltered honesty gave it a heartbeat that no headline alone could capture.